when LM came about like in 2023, 2024, and all that, like boom, like wow, really, I can ask it, it can answer questions. That already kind of like a big shift from industry and everybody. This year, right, we started this the whole big open cloud agentic system and autonomous AI that push it to the next level. It's like you don't need to really know coding, you really don't need to like do this question answer and trying to find things. Just give a task, leave it to AI, to the agent, and let it figure it out for you. So that is another level of a game changer.
In this episode, senior reporter Sabrina Ortiz talks to Dr. Olena Zhu, who leads AI strategy for the client computing group at Intel. Dr. Zhu has spent her career working on AI, and now she's focused on one of the most important questions in the industry. How do we make AI accessible, affordable, and safe for everyone? She talks candidly about how the shift from backend AI tools to LLMs to agentic systems has unfolded from her vantage point as an AI practitioner, and why the current moment feels different from all the hype cycles that came before. She makes the case that the cloud-only model for AI has real limits, from costs and energy consumption to data sovereignty and regulatory compliance. She explains how Intel's AI Superbuilder platform is helping companies build privacy-first AI experiences on device. Dr. Zhu also talks about how agentic AI has transformed her own workflow and why she thinks open-minded experimentation beats experience when it comes to learning AI. And she shares a tip for getting the most out of AI tools that might surprise you. Approach them the way a kid approaches a new toy. So here it is, our conversation with Dr. Olena Zhu of Intel.
Today on the show, we have Dr. Olena Zhu. And I would love to start by you telling us a bit about what you do, your background, and how you got into this world of AI to begin with.
Awesome. So I'm leading the AI solution group and AI strategies for client computing group at Intel Corporation. How I get into this role? So that probably need to start it from like my childhood. So when I was a kid, I just loved solving puzzle problems. I was just such a big fan about math and solving those complicated puzzles, geometrical problem and all that is the way of me killing time. So yeah, and I dreamed about like solving those problems in my dream. I remembered it and I woke up. Oh, because I got the answer to that question I couldn't solve, during the daytime, and I just dreamed up and I woke up. Oh yeah, I got it. So wow. It's just really just a fun to me. I think that's math is something I really love.
How old would you say you were? Like how little did these dreams and this fascination of solving puzzles start?
I think that was like elementary school.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm a nerd, as you can see, starting from back then. So and that is all the way through my education. So my education is around computational science. So it's all about use math to do the modeling and solve all kinds of physical problems and things like that. And at Intel, I started to do a lot of algorithm for design, solving simulation problem, AI for design. And then in recent years, and I start to expand to say, hey, not only using AI to solve just electronic design problems and engineering problems, it's broadly how do we use AI for every day and for everybody, so that's my current focus.
How has it been for you observing firsthand a transition between AI first being something that was in the back end, something that, again, only maybe engineers or people working to optimize the business side were really focused on, to it being this phenomenon it is today?
Oh, I love your question. Love your question. Because indeed, it's just fascinating. You know, as an AI practitioner, it's I have witnesses how this being transformed, slowly and fast, right? At the same time. So when I started, like with my education and all that, AI was not a big deal. It was like computer vision, it was like machine learning, and a lot of bubbles, it were bubbles and all that, and people were like, when I started, and people even questioning, AI was a buzzword and whatsoever. And when we're doing the AI for design, there were some great success. We built the tools together with different domain engineers, and for the, really good ones, and the domain really needed something to break through, and they become very hungry, and they do this with us, and boom, we got tools up running, 80% of efficiency gain, solved the problem they never could solve. And so, but we also hit a lot of walls with other domains. And some of the, domains, they were like, just subconsciously they compete with AI. And, we build AI tools and telling them, hey, in the beginning, it will not be perfect and you have to be patient, and then let's improve. And they were like, yeah, I can do way better than this. I'm not going to use it. And all those things. So it was very, very interesting. And then when LM came about, like in 2023, 2024, and all that, like boom, like wow, really, I can ask it can answer questions. That already kind of like a big shift from industry and everybody, the view, how they look at AI. Wow, AI can do so much more, and it's so real and just touch each of us. And then this year, right, we started this, the whole big open cloud agentic system and autonomous AI. That push it to the next level. It's like, you don't need to really know coding. You really don't need to like, do this question answer and trying to find things. Just give a task, leave it to AI, to the agent, and let it figure it out for you. So that is another level of a game changer. And a few really interesting example, and I saw there's like a Reddit type of forum, and people are talking about like how they get so much comfort and a companion and from AI. And that's one aspect. And another aspect is like how much it can empowers people to do different things. Like one example, I have a 8-year-old daughter, and sometimes I want to help her with understanding math concept, but it's hard. But every kid like playing video games. So I was like, hey, I need to build something really quick, and so that she can play it and understand it. But without AI, and you was thinking, wow, that would take a day or two. I probably don't have that time now. Like I can guide my daughter, and she can build a video game for herself, like in 20 minutes. And although it's not that polished and all that, but she loved it because she developed it, and then she now plays with it and use it, try to understand the multiplication concept and the practices. That's how you use AI to empower things and do a lot of things we couldn't do before.
Now it's time for a word from this week's sponsor, Airia. Bringing AI into your company is exciting, but it can also feel risky. Between data privacy concerns, security threats, and constantly evolving compliance requirements, it's easy to hesitate. That's where Airia comes in. Airia provides a unified security layer with advanced threat detection and strong governance tools, designed to protect your AI ecosystem from day one. You can safeguard sensitive data, monitor activity, and stay aligned with your compliance standards, all while continuing to innovate at speed. So instead of slowing down because of uncertainty, you can move forward with clear guardrails and real confidence. You don't have to choose between innovation and security. Airia helps you do both at the same time. If risk has been the thing holding you back from going bigger with AI, this is your green light. Visit Airia.com to learn more or start a free trial. Go to AI.com/Airia. airia.com. That's airia.com. We thank Airia for their support of the Deep View. Now, back to the show.
I love that example because it really just makes it really clear how accessible AI tools are. Your 8-year-old daughter is building video games in 20 minutes. That's incredible. I don't even know if I could spell my full name back then. That's leaps and bounds what I was doing at 8 years old. But with that in mind, there's so many advances in the AI space. You kind of just went through a really quick timeline where it was like, wow, we have a chatbot in 2023 that could actually answer conversationally. That felt like the next cutting edge thing. To now where we have these autonomous agents that can do much, much more. You work on every day bringing AI to personal devices at Intel. What do you focus on? What are you the most focused on right now bringing to consumers and their devices?
I think in high level, our mission is really wanted to make AI democratized, more accessible, and also safer. So why we are saying so is, especially with this AI agent, like it runs 24 hours. And if you just purely rely on cloud, no one can afford it. And, a lot of us actually will personally use it. And, even within 2 hours, you almost can spend all your monthly subscription credits. Last night I was talking to a few, smaller business companies, and they were like, we just cannot afford. So we started to set up our own on-prem workstations and all that. So we see how powerful it is, but we need to make it sustainable, right? Economically. And that's one point. And another point is like, it's the energy limitation, the infrastructure limitation. So now everything goes to cloud and all centralized. And even the AI providers like Anthropic and everybody so constrained on scaling. So that's why they put a lot of different types of usage controls, burst usage controls and all that, because it just cannot scale. And that lead to the environmental penalties to us, the water, how much we use to cool and all that. It's really a global-wide sustainability issues, right? And the last point is the security. And when OpenClaw, just got invented, and a lot of people just rushed into it and played with it and used it, and some of them, their API key were stolen, and the credit card informations, and the whole email box were deleted and all that. So all the security aspects is getting improved. But again, if everything we do and rely on cloud, and that's not going to work, right? We have our personal stuff, healthcare record, and our kids' pictures, videos, and all sorts of things. And the company has their secret IPs and their financial data, customer information. Are we going to all just, give it to the cloud? A lot of this AI, disruptors in the market, like the AI startups, they have a very hard time to get into enterprise space to service the enterprise needs, because the regulations from global wide, different geo, government, and vertical industries, healthcare or legal, they all have strict regulations, how you handle all these local files and the datas, and they, it's not like you can do everything in the cloud. So with all that said, what we are right now, what we are focusing is really trying to build a hybrid and solution that connecting local and the cloud, so that we can just keep user data, especially the critical, confidential, and the personal data local, but we still utilize the cloud AI, the advantages. And in in a simple word. And we use the cloud AI to decompose the very complex task into small steps, and we distribute those steps, those small tasks across local and cloud, and use local and to handle the local data without local sending the confidential data to the cloud. So, and from the device perspective, like when OpenClaw started, like people say, oh, like we need this and that device to run, but in reality, everything still goes to cloud because the local device is only a gateway solution. That's why you saw on the market, like people say, hey, I can do a small device, even like less than $100. I can do this. I don't need fancy devices. So what we are trying to do is to do a real local first AI device. That's the goal. And we want people to keep their stuff local. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I like that you're touching upon this whole entire hybrid model concept, because I feel like, again, when AI first became insanely popular, the focus shortly after became this idea of local running of everything, or on edge running of every model that you could, which also led to building smaller models, and then people feel more constrained about what the AI could do. But as these smaller models become more powerful, the idea of it running locally becomes more feasible. But also, to your point, there is the need for the hybrid still. So in your opinion, I'm curious, are you finding that there's also a demand from customers for it to be hybrid? Or, because I think for a while there, what we were all hearing was that everything needed to run local to be safe, to be privacy first. But this hybrid model, again, kind of challenges what was said in between there.
Yeah, I think everything is journey, right? It's not like, like either 1 or 0, cloud or local, right? It's a journey. And this, a lot of, very complex tasks and all that has to be done with local, and the frontier models, they are updating every day and all that. So we have to take advantage of that. And also on the other side, like you said, local is getting more and more capable, and the model are being more and more capable, and also the local devices, much higher T-tops and better memory and memory bandwidth. So all that is evolving, right? So maybe in the next few years, we don't know when, maybe all of a sudden, like then a pure local solution can be really great. Like you buy a financial advisor AI in a box, boom. And it does your tax and consult with you about your investment strategy whatsoever. It's good enough. You don't really need to tap to cloud, right? That could happen, but it's a journey. So we start with now like cloud dominant, and then we start to see, okay, people realize local and much, give you more economic and security and all these benefits. So we see people are coming from this way. We need to bridge the gap and build the bridge to help this transition happen.
So I like too that we're talking right now about like the back end, right? Because on the user, if done right, on a user's end, if I, buy a PC and I wouldn't really necessarily be cognizant of whether it's running locally or in the cloud, it should be somewhat of a seamless handoff. Yes.
That's one of the key components we are building is seamless experience between local and cloud, and the algorithm automatically figures out, is this suitable for local, is this suitable for cloud, is this like how complex this problem is, and how sensitive the information is, and how time sensitive it is, and all that. So a lot of the criteria, based on those criteria, and automatically route to local or cloud or combined.
I'm sure as you're also thinking about building these devices that are like AI first, you're also considering though the experiences that users will notice when they're opening the device and they see an AI feature or an AI enabled application. And I think something that comes to mind, for example, is a super builder. So I'm curious how you think of those experiences where are slightly different, right? Because these are more front facing and need to be more noticeably useful to the user.
Yeah, so Super Builder, we started with Super Builder like 2.5 years ago, and when we started, it was like a purely local solution, and we And then we use it as a reference design, and we bake in the performant local models, small models, optimized with the for Intel platforms, and also bake all kinds of solutions like RAG and documentation scoring and all those agentic workflows and components into it, and the service for our customers in two ways. One, like you said, it can be a standalone application, and a user buy AI PC, download, they can use it, and it's like purely local.
Yeah,
It's
how about
purely
you
local.
remind our readers or our listeners about what Super Builder is in case they're unfamiliar?
Like I said, you can go to aibuilder.intel.com, and we also have a GitHub to it. So that is where you can find Intel AI Super Builder, and it is, like I said, it is reference design platform for our customers, partners, and even users, and to utilize the AI solutions on Intel AI PC. So it started with local only. In 2024, it was local only. Like we select and optimize a set of small models and optimize them, make them run best on Intel platform, and then we bake all kinds of components, like including RAG, including agentic workflows like scoring documentations and things like that, and all into it, and like to service all kinds of customers. Some of them, like they can directly download and use it. It's a chatbot, and all your documentation, you can talk to your local documentation and all that without uploading to cloud and whatsoever. Or for our customers, some of them use partial of the solution because we give them APIs, or use the entire solutions, and for their own purpose. We serve two categories of customers. One is like the traditional customers, including OEMs, including traditional desktop application vendors, and they use it to build their own agents. For example, like Samsung launched like the AI bookstore agents, like in the beginning of the year for Kyobo bookstore. Many examples like that. They use this as a building block reference design to build for other enterprise customers with their devices, and some others like they use it to build developer kit, to encourage more developers to develop on their platform. And then the second category is more like the AI solution providers, all kinds of solution providers, from model vendors and to application vendors. So give you one example, we already productized one with a China company called Chat GPT, not PP, Chat PPT, not GPT. Sorry. So basically, it's a AI powered PowerPoint generation company. Everything is on the cloud. Like they have 50 million users and all that. It's very very promising startup company, and their concern was like they have to again service all kinds of customers, including government, including legal and finance and all these verticals. Like, hey, people have concerns. They need a privacy enhanced version. How do we utilize AI PC? So, and then we developed the MCP, the Model Context Protocol, that type of framework and APIs to give that to them. So what they can do is they have a small local model, and on AI PC, when you download, it automatically download there, and they also have their full-blown cloud services. And then when you want to make a PowerPoint, and what happens is it will scan your local files, use a local model, and then just distill it, right? And just abstract the high-level outlines and summaries and remove, financial information, so and all those things. And then send the outlines to the cloud. And the cloud to generate the PowerPoint template, do the picture rendering, color theme, beautified, and all that, and send back to the local, and local can insert back those, local content to it. So they launched it in last November. with with AI PC users, and so the telemetry data showed the initial telemetry data showed like the user sessions is increased by 33% because the user trusted it's their device. It's not like you go that website and do stuff. That's their device, and then also they have a estimation. The projected estimation for token saving is 50%.
I like that you just mentioned this tool that, as much as I've been covering the space for now about 4 years and, write about this every day, I'd never heard about this tool. And that just kind of shows you how many AI solutions, applications, and tools are out there. I'm super curious on your personal everyday workflow. Are there any AI tools that you gravitate towards or that have really upgraded how you work?
Like now I build my own agents to do all kinds of tasks for me. For example, like we build this next generation of a super builder. So we'll have a major announcement coming soon. But we have to do a lot of testing, right? Like previously it's more like human testing, click buttons and, giving task and see how the output and all that. I was like, hey, this is a perfect agent work. And so I started to use AI and to build an agent for this. And in the end, it a lot of iterations, right? But in the end, you will say, okay, you don't touch your computer, and one agent will go to this platform you build and start to click buttons and go through every steps and do the test for you.
It is so cool seeing now with AI applications, seeing basically your computer know how to use itself.
Yeah.
I'm sure that is it fascinating to you too, or less so because you've been seeing probably things of this sort happening for a bit longer than the rest of us.
It's still pretty fascinating, right? Because in the past, even like maybe past six months, you still need to give more attention to it. You need to guide more. But now it's like, if there's a problem and this agent has more autonomous, to go to everywhere and look for solutions. And it's more like before you may have like a high school student as your intern, right? That's your AI, and you just need to step by step what you need to do, blah, 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 and it got stuck and come back to you. What do I do, right? Now you probably have a PhD level student as your intern. If they get stuck, they do research, and they either solve it themselves or give you a proposal, discuss with you. So it's a delta, job.
Yeah, it's awesome for me too. Whenever I'm testing these tools again, just seeing it click around, do things that before, even if it would have taken me an additional couple of minutes out of my day, it's nice to be able to offload that. With that too, though, I think there's still some hesitation from users on what to use exactly, or if they should be using what tools. I'm curious for your point of view, what's something that everybody should keep in mind when interacting with these AI applications and newer cutting edge technology that could help supercharge their workflow or take it to the next level? Maybe it's like a frame of thinking, or maybe it's a way of interacting with them that can maximize how they use it.
Yeah, I think probably 2 points. Number one is you think about like who goes the fastest with AI learning. Kids, right? Like the college students, the high school. Basically, people have less knowledge about the history, and they don't even know about coding much, maybe. So they just jump in and then just use all this. So I feel like use AI in a more playful way, right? Like all of a sudden you get a new toy and you go experiment it, and just take off all this baggage, like for example, I have many years of the experience of this and that, but just give it a try, and with very open-minded, it's when you start to experiment, and you will realize, hey, wow, I can actually make it to be a really useful tool. But starting with more open mindset. Yeah. So I just I'm also a drug professor at Purdue. So I went back to Purdue last week and give talk and connecting with students and professors, and I realized the students actually goes faster with AI and more than professors. That's what I mean. And so I was like, hey, professors, try it and you'll be surprised. So that's what I mean. And then once you get onto it, and you go really fast with it, and you can just become extremely helpful, and you can run 100 miles a day. And there was something really interesting I saw on the website. It was like, wow, like before I log off my computer, I was thinking, what kind of task I should give to this agent overnight? What kind of magic miracles it will create? So like all of a sudden you got so many like AI helpers for you, and they maximize your productivities, your imaginations, your creativities without your attention. So that's one thing. And another thing is be careful at the same time, right? So the security is a big deal. Is really a big deal. So with AI, you will get out of it based on what you put it in. So for all the confidential informations, your personal stuff, so be really careful about it. So those type of things, like, because we also saw a lot of lessons, right, from the stories we have seen. That's why experiment with AI PC and with Super Builder, and like I said, we are rolling out more versions and all that, and try to use it in a safe way, right?
I like it. Keep the whimsy in experimenting with AI while also keeping safety and privacy first. Thank you so much, Dr. Olena, for all of your time today and all of your insight. This has been such a great conversation. I really enjoyed getting the chance to chat with you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity. It's fun. Yeah, thank you.